Dear viewers, welcome to your favorite channel, Lenaola TV. And this is the last day, the day that most Kenyans have been waiting for, so that the Supreme Court can make its determination. And I hope we are all peaceful. And once again, I'd like to say thank you so much for supporting our channel to this far. I still believe that we will be together, providing information, sharing information with one another. And I always encourage most of my viewers to be giving me comments below the comment section because it helps me grow the channel. So I've always remained consistent on my opinions, and even when the going got tough, I still put a bold face and pushed the agenda. And the agenda has always been that IBC did not, and I underscore, did not conduct the election in accordance with the law. I think if you have been following most of my postings, especially from the day, even from before the election date, then you must have realized that I'm always consistent and defending the cause. And what has been the cause? Free, fair, and verifiable election. One that we Kenyans can say reflects our will. So the question that the Supreme Court is to answer to the Republic of Kenya is whether those were met, the process. That is what Justice Mwelu keeps saying, the process. Because we understand that election is not only on the election date, it starts from the date of procurement to the time when the presidential election results are announced and Form 34D is issued to the winner. Of course, we know that this election, there was a Form 34D that originated from Form 34C. But the bone of contention in the whole process has always been the Form 34A that, according to many people, believe that could have been cooked. And this cooking is attributed to the fact that CHEBUKATI is alleged to have released copies in duplicates. And then some of these duplicates is alleged that they were never returned. So perhaps that's the reason why we have Form 34As in twos in the field. As if you saw the court proceedings, it was very hard for Azimio Kenya Alliance to use the forms, because when you try to use Form 34A for a particular polling station, IEBC would produce another Form 34A and say that is fake and this is the original one. You even saw in a presentation by Mahat, the lawyer for IEBC, when he said that the Form 34As were cooked. So perhaps that's the reason why Azimio Kenya Alliance opted to use the portal, IEBC portal, to now to showcase the Form 34As which were perhaps perceived to have been manufactured, because the bone of contention in the whole process was manufacturing of Form 34As. So, like I said, I've always remained steadfast. My opinions have always been resonating well with what most people believe. And I think if you look at the court proceedings, then most of the details which are being supplied to the judges, and then you look at the videos that we've always shared in Lenaola TV, then you find that consistency has been a key factor in our postings. Yesterday, I posted something to do with the 4 things that Raila Amolo Odinga should do should the elections be nullified. I got some comments. Some people said things that, could only show that they did not understand my point. I did not mean that Raila Amolo Odinga was beaten in this election. I meant that there could have been blunders, that Kenya Kwanza could have taken advantage of something. Of course, we all know that Mount Kenya, agents in Mount Kenya could have been compromised. So that's why most of those cookings, most of the riggings could have played out in Mount Kenya. You saw when the courts decided that that particular polling stations be scrutinized. Some of them were from Mount Kenya, and there were some from Rift Valley. Okay, we never saw one from Nyanza. I didn't see. I only saw one from Kakamega. And then in these strongholds, all of them, it appeared that there were some issues. But the response from IEBC lawyers was that those were minor errors. If you look at the case of Mvita, some ballot papers did not, some ballot boxes did not have ballot papers. Why was that the case? So when I made those comments yesterday, I had strong reasons, ladies and gentlemen, to have made them. Of course, we viewers in the channel have a right to post whatever feeling they have regarding whatever video I share in the platform. But let it be known that my cause is still intact, that Chebukati bungled this election. It is out there in the public domain. You saw the court proceedings. The judges have a right to air out what they feel, because they are the final people to make the final position to put the case to rest as to whether William Samoei Ruto will be confirmed, and that status from president-elect will have to be elevated. And going forward, inauguration will have to be to start again, to go on. And what I'm saying is because we Kenyans will have to move on and accept the reality, however hard that reality might appear to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, the court can decide to nullify this election. What happens? The country will be subjected to a re-election mood. And in my previous video, I said that Chebukati was setting up the country for a re-election mood. And this is beginning to show. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I am always steadfast and true to what I say, and my journey has always been to fight for this right that Azimio One Kenya Alliance ought to have had. So Justice Lenaola made a particular comment when he was asking Mahat particular question about around 235 polling stations that it's perceived to have gone manual in terms of verification. So those polling stations, if you look at the numbers, you compute by the maximum numbers of 700, then it's around 165,000 votes that could have been verified manually. What's the percentage of that? If you look at Cherera's comment when he said that, when he made some specific reference to a particular algorithm of 0.01, many people never understood Cherera. And then Cherera referred to a 140,000 votes that could have been suspiciously inflated in favor of William Samoei Ruto. That's what she said. So if you look at that, then you relate to Justice Lenaola's case when he asked Mahat about the 235 polling stations that could have been manually verified. Then you realize that there is something that Cherera was trying to communicate to the people, that there could have been an algorithm that was playing out, and that algorithm, for it to work, for it to give someone 50 plus 1, around 140,000 votes, had to be inflated. Then if you look at the question that was posted regarding the relationship between 50 plus 1 and the voter turnout, to want to suggest that whatever Chebukati did, that when he announced a percentage that was slightly lower than what was projected, remember that when Chebukati released around 65% as to having the voter turnout, that time manual votes had not been factored in. So after factoring the manual votes, Chebukati released a percentage that was 1% lower than that. Then if you look at that arithmetic, you find that Cherera could have been having a point, that the 1% that was reduced from the 65% could have been the manual votes that were reduced. And these manual votes were reduced so that there is no way you could track them. Because if the verification was done manually, then how will you track that? The 14 days given for the Supreme Court to do this is not enough. They cannot track the manual votes. They can only rely on affidavits from both parties, from Cherera wing, from Chebukati wing. Chebukati will of course say that these were factored in. Cherera will say that around 140,000 votes was suspiciously added onto Ruto's votes basket. So I think going forward that the country should just wait for what we have been waiting for all along, the Supreme Court verdict. But that verdict should be taken with utmost care, and we should still remain peaceful, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have much to say as far as that is concerned. Because like I've been saying, that we are not allowed to discuss this issue, ladies and gentlemen. So I like to raise my case there, and it's available, and I put this on the opinion public court, and that is you. Do you think until this time that Cherera is still to blame? Or do you think Chebukati is to blame? Please give us your comment below in the comment section there. And until we meet again for another analysis, I'd like to say stay safe and stay blessed, ladies and gentlemen.